Zachary. Monday, January 20th, against U.S. businesses that boycott Israel. And remember, this was the first piece of legislation worked on by the Senate to begin 2019. Out of all the things happening in the world, the first thing done by our elected officials was something that protects Israel. And again, why? Who's boycotting Israel? How much money are we sending every day to Israel? Why is it Israel, Israel, Israel? Of course, if you follow this channel, if you've read my book, you know what the reason why is. But here's what I want to show you. This is the education here. This is the purpose of understanding the code the world elite operate by, including our federal government. The things that happen each day are not by accident. They're by... Let me read this to you, and then we're going to understand why this vote came January 28th and why the vote was in favor of Israel 74-19. Washington Monday to advance legislation affirming the right of local and state governments to break ties with companies that boycott or divest from Israel, as Republicans try to drive a wedge between the Democratic Party and its traditional allies in the American Jewish community. The bipartisan legislation reauthorizes assistance to Israel and Jordan and imposes additional sanctions on individuals providing support for the Syrian government. But Republican leaders added a in Florida that aims to curtail support for the boycott, divest, and sanctions, or movement to pressure Israel into ending the occupation of the West Bank. The late inclusion was an opportunity to draw out the new generation of insurgent liberal representatives who have been critical of it. Republicans are trying to paint them as extremist and even anti-Semitic as they try to push moderate voters away from a Democratic Party moving left. The Senate voted 74-19 on Monday to cut off debate on the measure, with final passage expected on Wednesday. So 74-19. Again, our Congress, our senators, they're puppets on strings. When they vote, the numbers are not accident. They're in tribute to what the vote is about. This is pro-Israel. This is pro-Jewish. 74 is the most special number to the occult, and we are ruled over by the occult. And every day they practice gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, which is in sync with the calendar. And why? It's because it comes from Kabbalah. Kabbalah, the spiritual text, the book of formation. It says God created the world by merging the letter with the number with the word. The elite are playing God over the masses using this knowledge every single day. Notice, in gematria, Lucifer 74, so is Jewish, so is Masonic, so is occult, so is English, so is gematria. There's a whole lot more to this list. Holiday, Independence Day. How do we write Independence Day here? 7-4. This number is so important. The first recognized president, George Washington, in the base cipher, his name is 74, the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. So the vote was 74-19, 93 total votes. And remember, this is a very special number to Israel. Israel was drawn up September 3rd, 1947. Recently, they lost their former leader, and his name is evading my mind. It was when Obama was still president. Former leader in Israel. He died at age 93. And all the world leaders gathered in Israel on September 29th, the day leaving 93 days left in the year. And with regards to Jewish rituals, September 29th, 929, that's how many chapters are in the Old Testament, 929. Anyway, 93 is such a huge number in the history of Israel. Their Congress over there is Knesset, and no doubt this legislation couldn't make them any more proud. Knesset 93, Saturn the keeper of time 93. Once upon a time, Knesset, on January 23rd, 1950, it was the day they approved the resolution affirming Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, which has offended so many people. and other religious sects. Anyhow, that was a date with 93 numerology. It was also a date with 21 numerology. Notice Knesset and Saturn. Again, occult knowledge, Saturn, very important to the occult. Saturn, the god of all the planets. Saturn connected to time, and all of these things are rituals in time. Also, this vote came on the 28th. Why the 28th? Well, because Israel equals 28. What a perfect day to appease Israel. The 28th. January 28th, 19, the day of this decision, date with 48 numerology. The synagogue of Satan equals 223. Those are the false Jews from Revelation, the final book of the Bible. 223 is the 48th prime. Israel is the home of the false Jews. These people that we call Israelis, they match nothing of the physical description of the Israelites from the Bible. Not at all. Where's the dark skin? Where's the hair of wool? You know? So anyway, 223, the 48th prime. Israel was officially founded in 48, recognized as a nation in 47, just after it was drawn up on September 3rd, 9-3. But May 14th, what's interesting about that date? It can be written 14/5 like 145. And this is another special number. Catholic equals 145. And the Catholic Church has a lot to do with, the Bible revisionist history, which we're all living out, with the nation of Israel. I want you to see something about the relations between Israel and the Vatican. Recall, we have President Donald Trump, who went to the Jesuit University Fordham. Donald Trump, who is a crypto Jew. Donald Trump, who recently was in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day. And right after he went from Jerusalem, where did he go to? He went to the Vatican. He was there on the 144th day of the year. Jesuit order equals 144. Pope Francis, the first publicly Jesuit pope. Understand, everything done is a puppet show by the numbers when you know the code. But just think about it. Donald Trump goes from Israel, Jerusalem on Jerusalem Day to the Vatican. Strong relations between Israel and the Vatican. I want you to notice this. Israel and the Vatican established their formal relations in 93, and then the Vatican and Israel set up embassies in their respective territories, Israel and Rome, on January 19th at the beginning of 94. Now, why January 19th? That date can be written 1/19, right? All Seeing Eyes 119. The Vatican has the giant pine cone statue because it's reminiscent of the pineal gland in the mind, which is considered the mind's eye, which is the all-seeing eye. All-Seeing Eye 119, Star of David 119, Orthodox 119, Dancing Israelis on September 11th, 11/9. September 11th, by the way, is the Coptic Christian New Year. Anyway, Vatican 119, Francis 119, somebody likes this number too much, 119. Understand, every single day, the things that are done in this world are done by this code. The Mormon Church just opened up a big temple right next to the Vatican. A lot of people don't even know this, even most Mormons don't. But that was all done by the numbers. The elite, the cabal. You all know that term, the cabal, but you don't know about Kabbalah in this code. The cabal, the powerful, secretive political faction. This is where it all comes from. It all comes from Kabbalah. Every single day, the world elite operate this way. And we've had it pegged for 5 years. We've been exposing, how the government operates again and again, calling their moves before they happen, exposing the rituals, showing why what is what. And so many in the truth community want to deny this knowledge, which I just find so sad, so disheartening, so pathetic. Again, if you're into truth and you really care about the truth and changing things in this world, You should spread these videos. You should spread these blog posts. You should spam them everywhere. Twitter, social media, copy them, upload them on your own YouTube channel. All these popular YouTube channels that talk about bunk each day, which just keeps us going in circles. You should be sharing these videos there saying, hey, why aren't you talking about gematria? Why aren't you spreading this knowledge? Should also mention that that date they did that January 19th, it can be written 19/1 like 191, which is the 43rd prime. Jesus Christ is 43. Again, nothing's an accident. Our entire English language, so cleverly thought out, built on this code, just like Hebrews built on mathematics. It's the best kept secret about English. So, it's as simple as A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Once upon a time, I saw this right here, way back in 2013. Did it all out by hand. Wrote it down on a piece of paper. Wrote out A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Heard that gematria was about, matching words that had relationships with the same numerical value. And it wasn't long until I found this, and I said, that's really interesting. And then I said, I wonder what the coding of Jesus is, Jesus, this mistranslated name. And, I just knew right away this stuff wasn't an accident. Jesus is 74. If you look up the English translation of Jesus, is Joshua 74, Cross is 74, Messiah is 74, Gospel 74, Jesus spoke in parables 74. Just using the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. Then I asked myself, I said, could it be a coincidence? Maybe every word sums to 74. And so I wrote out all 50 states. I wrote out all 50. And you know how many sum to 74 out of 50? 1. And you know what it was? It was the 33rd state, Oregon, the state responsible for westward migration. 1 out of 50, so 2%. So if the average word has a 2% chance of being 74, and you can do mathematics, what's 2% times 2% times 2% times 2% times 2% times 2%? Well, it's about the odds of winning the lottery. So, for everyone who thinks this work is a coincidence, that means I've been winning the lottery every single day for 5 years straight. Proving my point day after day, without pause. And again, what have I said since day one? This code is largely Jewish. It comes from Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah. And who has always been in control of the United States of America? See, so many people think all these false things about their nation. They think it's good. A nation that was born out of a genocide that's always at war is good. A nation that spreads militarism all over the world is good. I mean, how could you think the United States of America is good? It's been controlled by evil people. It's been indoctrinating people to evil from the beginning. The United States of America overwhelmingly is evil. That doesn't mean all of us who are born here are evil. I think human beings are naturally born good, but we're corrupted. We live in a corrupted society.
Right.
Turns people to selfishness, ego, greed. Not everybody,
Yeah, good to see you in here, Sean Lowe.
But again, who's always funded and financed this nation in its wars? There's a proud group who will tell you. The Jewish people. They'll always say, there'd be no America if there was no Jews. We paid for the Revolutionary War. We paid for the westward migration. That was all done with our lending. This nation, the United States of America, it's always been controlled by the Catholic Church and Jewish bankers. From the beginning. No bones about it. That's why the nation's capital is between Virginia and Maryland.
Yep.
Virgin Mary. That's why the Scottish Rite headquarters are in Washington, D.C., and it's the Scottish Rite headquarters for all of North America. What is the Scottish Rite? It is the most Jewish branch of Freemasonry. That's why they got Star of Davids all over the place. You just have to pay attention. You just have to see Donald Trump, Jewish. Where does he go? He goes from Jerusalem to the Vatican by the numbers. What else kills me is I explain in a good percentage of my videos why they operate by this code. And people always would be leaving the comment, I don't understand why they do this. It's like, dude, how much wax is in your ears? How distracted are you while you're watching this video? You know, I have to answer the same damn questions every single day. And if you have any doubts about this research, look, I worked 5 years to write this book. 5 years. It's nearly 800 pages long. It's priced at $5. You'll get more out of this book than any 4-year college program. That is a guarantee. Guarantee. And just come read the reviews for this book. You know, come read the reviews. A lot of people. I just found the channel. I wanted to check out the book. The book blew me away. It's way better than I could have ever imagined. This is the best thing I ever read. Blah, 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 blah. And it's nice to read this kind of feedback. I guess Barry gave me 4 stars. It's okay. Most people gave 5 stars, but it looks like even Barry was happy. For me, it's need to know knowledge. Wish I knew about this earlier, much earlier. Fascinating book. Barry's just tough to give out that. Hey, wait a minute. You know what, you guys? I just looked at these reviews the other day, and I didn't remember them being 4 stars. There definitely wasn't back-to-back 4 stars. Wondering if Etsy's tinkering with me. Look up who owns Etsy, headquartered in Brooklyn. Hey, speaking of which, what's going on, Etsy? They took away my top-rated review and bestseller, even though it should be there. But Brooklyn, New York's 223. It's the most Jewish neighborhood in the world. Jewish. That's not a term from the Bible. This stuff's not an accident, people. It is not. So anyway, we'll leave it there. If you were not watching the screen, you don't know the point I just made, but I showed how the Brooklyn, New York, and the Synagogue of Satan have the same gematria value. And for those of you who say, I'd be into this if there was just one cipher, you guys aren't the greatest thinkers in the world. The Synagogue of Satan's written about to the Church of Philadelphia. Notice Philadelphia and you flip the alphabetic order around. 223. Think that's an accident? You know, last year I said why the Super Bowl would be Philadelphia and the Patriots after week 3, and Tom Brady after he lost in the Super Bowl, his record was 65 losses, 223 wins. He picked up his 65th career loss against Philadelphia. Remember, Donald Trump took on the flag protesters September 23rd, 101 days after the flag's birthday. 101 is the 26th prime, flag's 26. He took it on September 23rd, 23/9, like how the flag was sewn in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street. 239 Arch Street. The 52nd prime, you know. The Eagles, the home of the flag, would win the Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. That's why you need to know all the ciphers. All 4 teams last year, top 4 teams had 13-3 records. So, alphabetic order with rules of numerology, reverse alphabetic order with rules of numerology. If you can't appreciate it, it's because the knowledge is above your pay grade. And those are just 4 ciphers. In Hebrew, there's 14 ciphers they use. You can see almost everything using these 4 ciphers. So people who have opinions with no knowledge, you know, people not worth listening to. And by the way, people are winning money off this knowledge. TCU, the Texas Christian School, look at their basketball record after last night, after losing to Texas Tech. We said no doubt the Christian school would be falling to 15-5, and sure enough they did. They fell to 15-5. And did you see how many points they lost with Texas Christian University? 65 points. Look at this. Look at this. We're getting off topic, but I'm just going to remind you guys how far this code goes. TCU, Texas Tech box score. She'll pull it up right here. No, that's football. I need basketball from last night. There we go. There we go. So yesterday I looked at this. I said, oh, TCU's 15-4. The Christian school's definitely going to 15-5. And then they lose with 65 points. And again, for all the years I've been here, I've taught the alphabetic order and alphabetic order with rules of numerology. Those are the ones to really know. So just understand, from your news to your sports, college and pro, it's all scripted this way, you know. And you can prove it every single day. Every single day. Also, for the guy out there who says he's not a government agent, who did an interview with me and deleted it, he deleted it because he said this work's kooky, but he's trying to expose Zionism. He said I just couldn't have it up there because you said sports are scripted, and that's just impossible. Yeah, real impossible. We prove it every single day. Again, if you want to learn this code inside out, you got to go to patreon.com. And if you want the ultimate shortcut, just type in patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. The sign-up page is right here. So, and if you do sign up, I hate to recommend Google, but you want to use Google Chrome when you're on Patreon. It works best with Google Chrome. So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.